Hey, it's Donald here. In this video, I'm just going to do a little critique on a random brand that I saw that I found was interesting, and I just wanted to share it on YouTube just so you can see for yourself how you would run better ads. So let's begin. I'm going to show you what the brand is. So we see that the brand that we're looking at today is Avenue the Label. So they didn't ask me to do it, I just chose it at random. I saw them on Instagram, so I thought I'd just do a critique for fun today. So let's begin. So we see here that they have the Layla dresses back, this previous sold out style is back in stock. So they're using a lot of scarcity in this one, but depending on if you are using cold traffic or warm traffic, then if you're using cold traffic, I'd highly advise against doing discounts because you attract a certain type of buyer. You get the type of buyer that just looks for discounts, and they're basically the bottom feeding type of clients that you want, or rather the customers, and you definitely don't want those type of customers. So instead, try to sell them on the value of the Layla dress, how this is going to make them feel, which I'm going to cover later, by the way. So we got the ivory short and shirts set, which here you used an influencer, which I really like. I've used influencers in the past, especially on my Facebook ads, and they work really, really well. So kudos to you. Although what I would advise against is having them do it on kind of a blank wall because it looks very unnatural, right? So you see here, although it's not really on a black wall. It's kind of in a more natural background. So that's something that you need to look for, right? Another thing that we notice here is I don't really like this one because it stands out as an ad, right? And the worst thing you could do is, especially if you're advertising on Facebook, you don't want to make it look like an ad. You know what I mean? So again, we see the same here. We see the same here. Like for this one, it's like sign up for 10% off. That's fine, but I would really advise against that. But this one just says Avenue Apparel, which I don't like at all. So make sure that you remove this, make it blend in into the newsfeed. Another thing I mentioned about the photos here is you see that her hair is covering her eyes. People like to look at eyes, so that's why this one's actually not that bad, other than kind of the white background and making it look more photo shoot-ish. Then I would probably have at least your eyes showing. At least she's looking at the camera. All right. So this one's nice. It's kind of a spur of the moment kind of picture, which works really well. I've used these to great success in the past. So the topic of today's video I really wanted to cover is this maternity dress here. So if we take a look here, so we see here that maternity, but not as you know it, explore elevated wardrobe essentials for you and the bum. These effortless styles can be worn during and after pregnancy, right? So it's a decent ad. I do like the maternity, but not as you know it. I put a space here. Explore elevated wardrobe essentials for you and the bump. So these effortless styles can be worn during and after pregnancy. So I changed this a little, right? I'm gonna go to a notepad online. So what I would do to change this is I'd go here, explore our elevated wardrobe essentials to you in the bum. This is how I'd change it, to be honest with you. Enjoy 10% off your first purchase when you join our community. Click shop now. I would advise you take away the percentage here. So maternity, not as you know it. So this is the attention line, right? And then you have the interest line, which is going to be the photo, right? Desire, action, right? So this is commonly known as the ADA model. We move our face here, and we will see that the ADA model is what I base things off of, right? So explore elevated wardrobes essentials, so you in the bump, right? So what I would do here actually is instead of explore elevated wardrobe essentials, I would actually do a very specific one because also when you look here, you actually click on this link, it takes you to the maternity collection. So instead, what I would do is I would put an ad for each product that you're selling. So let's just say that I wanted to sell my Lucielle maxi dress. So we'll see here. All right, so that's kind of how you do it. So another thing I actually noticed is we look over here, we see that if we reload the page, so this is a little bit about conversion rate optimization because it's also really important, right? You see that the email opt-in list shows up way too quickly, right? So it loads within like 2 or 5 seconds. You don't want this to happen. You want to wait and have your customers look through it. So that's one thing. Another thing is you're taking them straight to the collection page, which you give them too many options, which is actually a bad thing. So you want to give them as little options as possible, right? So next thing we're going to cover in this video is I'm going to cover how I actually make my ads and how you should too. So we're going to go to my YouTube critique here, and I made one based on what we were selling earlier. So let's say that I was doing the maternity collection of the shop, right? So I go here. So what is going to be the product, right? So the what's going to be maternity clothing, right? The who is going to be 25 to 45 expecting mothers, right? I made this up, so take it with a grain of salt. But let's just say that our target customer base is going to be 25 to 45 expecting mothers. So we have two sections here. We have the wow and we have the why, functional product focus. So here we talk about how this product's going to make them feel, what is their state change and stuff like that. So in this case, I gave the example of helping expecting mothers look stylish even with the baby bump. Whereas the why is very functional, and this is what everyone actually does and everyone puts a large focus on, right? So fast your shipping available, made in house by American workers, satisfaction guarantee, easy exchanges, available in XXXS and XXL. Your why not is going to be things that prevent people from actually buying. So for this case, let's say it's too expensive. What could you do? You could give them a discount. Don't trust your brand. What could you do? Give testimonials, give influencer demos. What happens if my order doesn't get delivered? Fast customer service, right? So here's how I actually make ads. So we can see here that I base everything on AIDA. AIDA. It's one of the oldest marketing principles in the world, and it really works. So I put the bump has never looked more stylish, right? So let's just say that we were doing this product. The bump has looked more stylish. So I would actually, instead of doing this, I would do something along the lines of this. We have her with her hair back, and we have her, staring at the tummy, so that it focuses your attention on that piece of clothing. Because if you just put a picture of a good-looking girl, then all the attention is going to be at her and not on the product. So, want to have a little bit of human element because here you have the head cut off, which is not the most ideal situation. So I'd put something like a hybrid of this and this as my photo. We're going to go back here. So the bump has never looked more stylish. That's going to be your first area, right? Going to go back to our notepad here. So that's going to be your attention part, right? You put the interest, which is going to be the picture here. So it's going to be a combination of both, right? And the desire, which is explore a newly released maxi dress made from 100% natural cotton from ethical warehouses in Sydney, right? And then shop now to get yours. at website, for example. That's basically how you make the cold traffic ads. So let's talk a little bit about the warm traffic, because that's something else that we need to cover. So let's take an example here. We're going to do the carousel ad that we saw earlier. So just landed, introducing our latest hat styles, 10% off your first purchase when you join our community. So this actually looks like a cold traffic ad, but I actually use it more in the retargeting aspect. So let's actually do it. So instead of turning this from a cold traffic ad, we're going to make it into a warm traffic ad or a hot traffic ad. So basically, in layman's terms, a retargeting ad. So instead of saying just landed, we're going to say just restocked. Our hat styles are finally back in stock. Enjoy 10% off your first purchase when you join our community. Our always effortless silhouettes are created with an ethical and sustainable approach. Click shop now. So what I would do honestly is I would remove this and split test that with just using this. So just restocked. I'm going to keep this separate just in case. Just restocked. Our hat styles are finally back in stock. Enjoy 10% off your first purchase when you join your community. And then I would also split test just doing this. Our always effortless silhouettes are made with an ethical and sustainable approach. Click shop now to get yours at 10% off. So those are a couple ways that you can change both your retargeting and your cold traffic ads. Let's see what else we could say here. So that's basically it for now. I'd like to thank you for watching the video today. Make sure you hit like, comment, and subscribe if you liked this video. I'm going to make more of these later on. So stay tuned for that next Saturday. So again, it's Donald Dang checking out with you. Thanks for watching.